All right, y'all, so we are back with another video, and I am here to talk about the last two parts of the Chasing Atlanta season 7 reunion. Now, of course, I was not here last week because that was the week leading up to Mother's Day, and y'all already know. Let's not even get into it. So I'm going to briefly recap part 2, and then we'll get into part 3. I'm not smoking in the car anymore. I do still smoke, but I'm not smoking in the car. This is like a cranberry raspberry vodka. It's really good. So I just want to bring up 3 little key points for part 2, and then we'll get into part 3. So part 2, Noel was very expressive in how he feels and shows up as a feminine gay man. I think the way he articulated himself was profound. He said exactly what needed to be said, and he was very clear in educating not only the rest of the group, but the viewing audience on how he felt and how he feels like he shows up and the weight of that. And that was necessary, and we needed to hear that because you are not by yourself, Noel. So shout out to you, and keep doing what you're doing because you are making a difference. Oh Lord, let me take a sip because she likes to tussle, girl. Toni went up for trans representation as it relates to herself when they asked her about it wasn't the trans day, is it? The day she was being honored. The Dominique Morgan and Monroe was on there and all that. So she showed up and went up rather for trans representation for herself. But when Nova displayed misrepresentation, it was just let the girls battle it out. Two things can be right at the same time. I do understand that this is TV and these girls are grown. They can handle themselves. But when you shape it the way you shaped it, Toni, it looks as if you only stand up for trans representation if you're directly affected. Because whether you heard Nova say what she said about the dying of trans women and how they're bricks compared to her, whether you heard that or not, it still should have triggered you to say something. I didn't hear it in that moment, but let me educate you, little daughter. Let's get this straight. Same with the fish comment that Alfeeya clearly said she didn't agree with. Y'all took a moment to educate her, and then you kind of pacified it to make it okay. That's just like us, the gay men, referring to other gay men as girl. I'm working on that because unless you tell me that's what you want to be identified as, I'm not gonna misgender, because I see now that as a culture, as a nation, as a people, we are extremely sensitive. And instead of complaining about it, let's just adjust. It's not gonna change. And calling people sensitive is not gonna make them have tough skin. They are gonna be sensitive. And that's just what it is. And to some level and degree, we're all sensitive in some area. Just because that isn't your area of sensitivity does not mean you don't get to omit having consideration and sensitivity for somebody who that is sensitive for. We got to think outside of ourselves. We just have to, and that's just what it is. I am sending love to Nick, his mother, and their family. I've been through that. Every story does not end like mine, and there is hope. Let me say this to educate you on what I learned. If you haven't done it already, introduce radiation into her journey. Radiation pauses and paralyzes the cancer where it's at, so that way when you attack it with the chemo, you're only attacking one spot. Also, vitamin D is very important. Eating is very important. Movement is very important. The way you think is very important. As a man think, so as a man. So keep her motivated. Talk about Cancer as less as possible. Give her a normal life. Because that will help her. How can I put this? It'll help distract her from the one thing that's aching in her brain. Let's just keep it real. Again, not every story ends like mine, but when we hear Cancer, we think death. It's the same type of stigma with HIV. We hear HIV, we think you're gonna die. Like it's not necessarily that anymore. So let's kind of steer clear of that type of talk. Stay as positive as possible. Keep her hydrated, keep her fed, and well, with a well-balanced meal, and just stay positive. Stay positive. That don't mean the world to her. I only pray that my mom was positively affected by me affirming her and letting her know that she was stronger than her situation and that she could get herself out of anything. So yeah, I just wanted to leave that with you. So now we're on part 3, the final part, the reunion after the reunion. The girls in all black. And it was, it was cute, It was clear that the girls was like, I'm going all out for the red. I'm just gonna pull something cute out of my closet for the black. Like, because you could tell that nobody was like, and I think it had very little to do with the resources that people had. I think it had everything to do with the lack of enthusiasm. We're over this. We're all exhausted, and we all know that we're just gonna come back in this space to do more of the same, and we're kind of over it. We're gonna show up and do our job, but we're kind of over it, and that was clear. Let's start with Noel. Noel wanted to make it known that he was not the person that informed Alfeeya that what she was mentioning was gay for pay. It was Nova. We then go on to dig more into Alfeeya's story because An'Darrio asked, did you really not know it was an LGBT show? Like, did you really not know? And Alfeeya said, well, you and Toni told me that it wasn't. To which An'Darrio answered, correct. But at the very bottom, when it's asking for your personal information, it does say that it's an LGBT show. But if you told her out of your mouth that you're rebranding and it's not, then yeah, I'm going to think that it's not an LGBT show. However, Alfeeya, it is your responsibility to do your just due and your research. I personally will never enter a space where there is previous information, previous season, just previous activity that is accessible by me and I not access it. We binge everything else. I would have binged all 6 seasons of Atlanta. You don't need to watch anything else if you don't want to, but I would have binged all 6 seasons of Atlanta just so I can get a taste of not only the type of people they bring on the show, the type of drama that go on, the type of mess that's being held up, the way these girls are dressing, the tea that they do reveal and the tea that they hold back. Let this also be a lesson that you can't share everything with everybody. Toni looked you square in your face and said, girl, this is a TV show. Somebody gonna pull it out their pocket. It just happened to be Nova. So what about the we're a family but a dysfunctional one at the end of part 3? What about the fact that we use the term friend so loosely? If this is just a show and we're co-workers, then none of that should exist. And if we are a family and friends, then none of this back pocket shit should exist. What I tell you should stay with you, unless I authorize you to say something. I think that's why I sit where I sit with people, whether we're good or not. I can come for, first of all, and this is no shade to Nova because, and let me just say this. Nova, where was this Nova all season. Where was this Nova in parts 1 and 2 of the reunion? I agree with you a lot. And I'm like, well, this is what everybody was talking about. When everybody was like, no, Nova's really cool. This is what they're talking about. If you were this girl during the season, even if you were this girl at the reunion, we probably wouldn't have the problems that we have today. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are a fool if you are keeping up. How can I put this? You are a fool if you are more offended than the offended. All of this was in defense of Alfeeya and how she was being treated and handled by Nova. If Nova and Alfeeya are over it and they've hugged it out, we are idiots if we're still mad at Nova on account of Alfeeya. I'm not telling you how to feel. If you still want to hate Nova for whatever reason, that's fine. But to do it in defense of Alfeeya is dumb. She's over it. So should we. Period. Alfeeya also stated and revealed to the girls, honey, that binge were because, okay, let me slow down. It was asked why Alfeeya thought it was okay for her to shape the email the way she did and come at everybody the way she did. Alfeeya responds by saying, well, Bingeworthy said that I was being portrayed as the ghetto baby mama. You could tell that struck An'Darrio square in the chest. He knew nothing about that. A lot of people on the cast knew nothing about that. Q probably did, but a lot of other people did not. And now it kind of explains why Alfeeya felt the way she felt. Let me say this to Alfeeya, my love, my heart, my girl. People are less receptive to your accountability when you still feel the need to explain. Some stuff does require an explanation, like you misunderstood me. Some stuff does not. And even in defending your point and your intention, you still have to acknowledge and address the pain. I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to lay the foundation so when I get to it, you know what I'm talking about. Toni. I guess at this point, Toni felt like An'Darrio wasn't doing a good enough job as a host, so she was going to grab the mic and the cards and do her thing on her own. Mama said, paraphrasing, Alfeeya, why does it even matter that people went after Nova at the pajama party? Nothing she said. No, she asked basically she had two different problems. Why does it matter that people went after Nova? She wanted an answer for that. And then she was heated about the misgendering. She said that nothing she did caused you to misgender her. And this is what I'm talking about, I feel. Number one, two things could be true at once. Alfeeya said all of that in retaliation. So if we're not gonna address what took me there, let's not talk about the destination that we're sitting at. Let's just not. And this isn't me caping for Alfeeya or dumping on Nova, because I like to say that. I don't know if y'all talking about me, so I'm not gonna take offense to it, but I'm unbiased when it comes to them two. Y'all know I'm biased when it comes to Samii. Y'all know. That's my girl. But I still hold him accountable. But I was unbiased about the situation. Wrong is wrong and right is right. She did say that in retaliation. So had none of this fever been thrown at Alfeeya, maybe she wouldn't have said the things that she said about Nova. Maybe. But Toni, why are you crying though? It was a whole lot of unnecessary crying in this part. For Toni to stop, Toni is known to storm off. She really is. Can we get some accountability for that? And I think the account. Ooh, wait till I tell my daddy. That girl she bringing in groceries. Oh, she bringing. Okay, y'all don't know what's going on over there, but my daddy do, and I'm gonna tell him about that. If we're gonna bring up accountability, we need to bring up the fact that when the shit don't go how she wanted to go, she up and out. No. Because you would never walk off of a P-Valley set. BET, VH1, the girls hire you, you're not walking off that set. So in essence, you are subconsciously and indirectly, because I know you fuck with An'Darrio, you said it, I love you down, An'Darrio, but do you respect him? Because the fact that you did it in the season and now you've done it at the reunion says a lot about your respect about this man's business. You are talent for this man's business. Y'all are in business together. And you left him to hang and dry, essentially. I'm not saying all of the weight of the reunion and where it goes is on you. But we all play a part in this body that is Chasing Atlanta season 7. Now we're missing a limb because you got in your feelings about something that really had nothing to fucking do with you. Had you sat there looking cute and minded your goddamn business, you would have seen this through. Her feeling the way she felt about who split up and who went which way had nothing to do with you. Her misgendering Nova had nothing to do with you. But you taking up for trans women. Where was this fever when Nova was coming at trans women as a trans woman? Or is she okay to say that because, you know, black people can say nigga, so trans women can... Alfeeya and Nova make up. I was so happy to see this. I really, really, really was. Because it's time out for that. At the end of the day, we are all fucking exhausted behind this Nova and Alfeeya situation. We all are. We are all fucking exhausted. Enough already. Either agree to disagree and go y'all separate ways, or squash the shit and be cool. Period. Nova did say, though, she found it odd that after they made up, and we saw an unaired clip of Nova and Alfeeya sitting down and having a heart-to-heart and really, really, really making up. Alfeeya then went on a live and started kikiing about the situation, what her favorite read was, and this, that, and the third. And that hurt Nova. Alfeeya, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Toni situation. It was this right here. This is what I'm talking about. You have to see both sides of the coin. Because then you came out and said the words that I did not want you to say. I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. It's not that deep for me anymore. Those exact words were said to you by Nova in reference to the gay for pay comment. Those exact words. So if in this moment you expect her to be okay with the fact that, girl, it ain't that deep. I don't want to, like, please don't take it that way. It wasn't that deep. Whether she's lying or not, if Nova said the same thing, you gotta give her that same respect and grace. You gotta give her that same respect and grace. That baby been saying that this whole season. It wasn't that deep for me. I'm just kikiing. Now, let's flip the coin. Nova, you've been saying this whole season, it wasn't that deep to me. But it was for Alfeeya. And you had no grace. You had no sensitivity towards it. Well, girl, fuck it. If you feel the way you feel how you feel, I'm not apologizing. It wasn't that deep to me. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You gotta be ready to receive that same energy when it come your way. That hurt my feelings because it don't matter. Because when you hurt somebody's feelings, whether y'all cool or not, you don't give a fuck if it don't affect you. Why should she? So now I hope we're seeing how you just gotta respect people in general. Because if you don't, you find yourself in a real fucked up situation where the same thing might be happening to you and you don't get what somebody was trying to get from you. And it's woe be unto the nation when you don't get it, but it's girl grow the fuck up and grow some balls when they don't get it. That ain't fair. It's not fair. So let's be fair. Also, again, with the explaining, it wasn't that deep for me. I didn't mean it like that. Cool. But this is how accountability looks. Nova. And I'm just gonna use this situation because this is what we were talking about in part 3. I'm not dumping on you, Alfeeya. You know I love you, girl. Nova. It really wasn't that deep for me because I thought we were over it. And I thought that we could joke about it moving past it. You know, like, because there are tons of you were raised by a Jamaican woman, you have Caribbean parents. After a traumatic situation happens, we kind of make light of it by joking about it. That's how we laugh through our pain. However, I never meant for that to hurt you. And because I know it did, I'm deeply sorry. And I won't do it no more. We won't have that. You won't have that problem out of me. I didn't know. I apologize. Period. Period. Y'all do it sometimes. But there are times where y'all stand on business and y'all just refuse to apologize. When it really I just apologize. Is my day gonna change at all? It definitely won't for the negative. It takes nothing away from me to apologize. And here's a little bit of tea. Whether you mean it or not. It would be imperative that you do mean it and that you are genuine. But even if you don't, sometimes people just want to hear, bitch, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Acknowledge my pain. And again, that's coming from both sides. Oh, baby, Tramel said, and I literally wrote this. Tramel said, today is the fucking day. Tramel and Q gets into it. And Tramel was basically like, I was over what you did at the pole dancing class because you try to act all grand and like you're better than everybody else. And you're quick to leave, like Toni. And you just, you put yourself up there. So it's almost like you're scolding us when you're trying to spit some wisdom or get us to, kumbaya. I think that's what Tramel was trying to say, but he couldn't articulate it in that moment because, baby, he was heated. But you're not our parent. You're not above anybody, and we are not below you. So, chill on that. And Q didn't like that. And so they get to going back and forth. Q was like, you're fake as fuck. Tramel said, oh, no, bitch. You're fake as fuck because you've been hanging with Bingeworthy and I got the receipts to prove it. Up goes a screenshot of Bingeworthy. I'm thinking, and I think it was Bingeworthy because the name was blurred out. You know how An'Darrio is. He's a shady cunt. Yeah, and probably for legal reasons too. Because Bingeworthy, baby, he give me, bitch, I will sue the fuck out your ass. It was a post that basically was just like, stay up off of Q. That's my boo. And Q reposted it and was like, we fuck with each other, like heavy. Like, so, girl, and after that, then we get Neek and Q going at it. And I mean, they went at it and Q brought out the tears and was just like, bitch, I've been going through it. Like, this whole jail situation has changed me, bitch. My family didn't know. I'm out of a marriage. I'm divorced. The day I got into it with you, Tramel, I was fighting with my nigga that day. Like, I'm going through a lot. Baby, I think not only Neek, but Tramel was like, and we don't give a fuck. While that is heartless as fuck, it's understandable. 5 minutes prior to that, Q, you were going at it with Tramel and you did not give a fuck if the boy was being threatened. His life was being threatened. He was being stalked. Do you not know what that is? When somebody sneak up behind you and take a picture of you and be like, bitch, watch your... That's harassment. That is stalking. Categorically. Like, it's not like he followed... Well, we don't know, bitch, because we don't know who it is. So, we're not necessarily saying he was being followed, but... That's dangerous. And you gave no fucks. You actually responded with, and my people don't play about me. We still can't explain why after the premiere party, one of your cousins or whoever hopped in one of his comments and rated him for filth and was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. You don't know who said it and you don't know why. How? If these your people and you know exactly who you're talking about, how do you not? So at that point, Q was like, well, bitch, Toni ain't the only one. He left out. Then, while he was out, Tramel was like, the whole issue is that you're still not taking accountability. You just told me that you was okay with people following me, taking pictures of me, threatening me, and all this other type of shit. But now you're crying because you're in the hot seat. That ain't right. I've been going through a bitch who ain't It's 2026. Jesus is going through it by all the shit that we putting him through. Sorry, Lord, for cussing it. But we all going through it. And I know Jesus is like, oh, child, Lord, I'm coming to you again because my people. Like, everybody is stressed. In the words of Martin, everybody's hustling everybody. We've all been, well, not all, but a lot of us have been to jail. My mom is no longer here. It does not give me an excuse to treat people like dog shit. I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I'm entitled to grieve. But people's feelings, their emotions, and them receiving my wrath is not a part of the deal. Your issues are just that. Yours. So you can't use that as an excuse to why you've been a nasty person. And just like Alfeeya attempted to do, if you felt so like everybody's ganging up on Q and I just can't take this no more, bitch, pack your hefty bag and go. You just said before you left, if y'all don't want me here, I don't have to be. If you felt that way, then you didn't have to be there. Twan was not holding a gun to your head and making you go to Miami. You did not have to go. You didn't. And you didn't have to show up to this. There have been plenty of reality stars that don't show up to the fucking reunion. Is it the end of the world? No, especially if you don't want to come back. And if you do come back, this is a horrible way to go out the first season. You didn't even stay. You didn't even stay. So yeah, Tramel was like, you're still not taking accountability. And Nick was like, you did the same thing to Toni. Baby, An'Darrio agreed. An'Darrio said that wasn't cool because we couldn't unpack, because as soon as people started arriving and Q laid eyes on Toni, he apologized. I guess for the grandma comment and take your ass to bed. He apologized. So there was nothing to unpack for that package because we've already settled it before we even hit the set. You can't scoot out of your issues. You gotta face them head on, mama. Because you quick to call everybody else out, but you gotta face your own music sometimes. Q then comes back. And An'Darrio is like, we're glad to have you back. And he was like, 5 minutes, bitch. You only got me for 5 minutes, so I'm guessing the Uber was 5 minutes away. So, bitch. And the only reason why I say that is because Nick was like, you ain't got no house or no car. And you got in the back seat of a black SUV. It's giving Uber XL, Uber Black. Which, New Yorkers ain't got no car either, bitch. I'm not shading you, I'm just saying. It was wrong to have that fucking man waiting outside. And you knew he was outside waiting because you got the notification. That's why you got your ass up to leave. So, as Q is getting ready to leave, Noel is like, this is all performative. Now, mind you, the whole third half, while Q was going off, Noel is like, Q. Like, trying to reel him in, like, girl, not only are you spilling tea that you don't need to be spilling, but calm down. Like, We can have a kiki. We can talk about this. Calm down. Q was like, bitch, fuck all y'all. So he was just like, and Noel was like, this is all performative. To be quite honest, like, we was just cool at the Ponderosa down the Bulldogs. And not to say y'all was at Bulldogs, because that's the only place I know in Atlanta. I mean, outside of V12, and bitch, after the way he talked to them girls, y'all should never go in that establishment again. Bitch, your ass ain't that fat and your dick ain't that big for us to be like giving you money and you talking to people like they shit. No ma'am, fuck you. Noel was like, this is all performative. And he was like, you know, we was all cool down to the Bulldogs, and now we get here and it's a Ponderosa. And it's like, what's real and what's not? And I don't know if it was Dominique, because like I said, I watched part 2 and 3. I don't know if it was, I think it was Dominique, that was just like, moving forward, we need to have a safe word. So when we throw it out and be like, pineapples, or do you like pineapples? I think it should be a question. Because the answer will determine whether or not we playing TV or this is real shit. And if they be like, nah, bitch, I don't like that means, bitch, this ain't TV. I'm for real. Or if they be like, yes, I love pineapples, how about you? Then you know, bitch, I'm playing TV, let's kiki. I think that would be great. I think after like the 3rd episode, though, the viewing audience is going to be in on it. If y'all keep throwing out, like, you like pineapples in the most random situation, then, bitch, we going to catch on to that's y'all safe word. It got so bad because when Noel was like, this is performative and this is crazy, and he was just over it, Q was like, wait a minute, like, I'm not finna leave without saying my piece. So he comes back and he yelling over production, he yelling over Carl, he just yelling. It got so bad that An'Darrio got up and said, okay, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Go. Because the boy said, y'all got 5 minutes. That's it. Y'all got $5 fine. You got 5 minutes. I know I looked at Q for another 30 minutes. I know I did. Especially if it's chopped up. I know I did. Then he got up and had another 10-minute conversation. So was that man outside for 30 minutes waiting on you? I would have canceled the ride and left your ass. I promise you I would have. So he eventually shoos away and he gets in his Uber and he's out. Like, I'm done. The way Q was talking, I don't know if he's gonna return, because he was just like, if y'all don't want me here, that's fine. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is you're mistaking good. How can I put this? You're getting your favorite co-workers confused with friends. Nick was one of your favorite co-workers. Until they prove themselves, so is Samii, so is Ken, so is Nova. And everybody else on the other side of the stage. These are co-workers. You just said, we taking time off from work to film a show. Just because work is fun does not mean that your co-workers are your friends. That is a really cute dog. And I think that's where you got shit fucked up. Y'all been having good times, sharing cute memes and gifts in the DMs and in the group chat, and you just assumed that you're a Leo. You see and assume the best in people. Do that with discernment. After Q leaves, out of nowhere, just imagine I'm sitting here and I just get zapped into space. You know how that would just come out of nowhere? Like, I'm just sitting here and then, woo, I get zapped up. You know, like, out of nowhere. Like, oh my God, woo. Ken starts crying. I mean, bawling. This is too much. And I'm just like, is this because you are genuinely hurt by the situation? Or because the last time you were seen on TV, Dominique called you a mean butch queen, or a mean femme queen, rather, and you trying to show that you got a heart, and you just ain't this bitch that she called you out to be? Because what the fuck were you crying for? Toni too. What in the fuck are you crying for? Like, it didn't. Overall, like An'Darrio said, I want to see everybody come back. I really do. Especially that Nova and Alfeeya have mended their differences and they cool. I want to see it. And plus, again, the first timers know how to do it now. And as a collective, we know what to do and what not to do. We know what lines to cross and what lines to blur and what lines to not even approach. We know each other a little better because we've spent all this time together. We've seen the show back. We've done the reunion. We know the ins and outs. We know how scenes work and how confessionals reflect. We know. So given what we know, this group should be a lot better moving forward. The only person I wouldn't see coming back is probably Q. Now the Fab, child, at this point, y'all lose more members in Destiny Child and En Vogue. So I don't know what y'all got going on. But the group on this side, they may be able to come. Well, I don't know because things going on. They may be able to convince him to come back. And if he was just a ball of emotions and still out of his body, like he said before, he'll come back. But if those were tears of like, this is real pain and I'm really affected and I'm really like irritated and I'm really done with y'all won't see Q on Chasing again. Because when the Leo is done, they're fucking done. So that's up in the air. Toni, I don't know. Toni was here for season 5, gone for season 6, back for season 7, and she walking out of almost every scene. Like, so I don't know. I would love to see everybody come back, but number one, we're gonna have to strip you of that anchor, bitch. I ain't gonna hold you. You anchored nothing but the wig on your head. You anchored nothing. The one trans woman you're supposed to take under your wing, you didn't. You didn't. I rarely ever saw you take us to the side and be like, nah, daughter, that's not how we gonna represent ourselves as trans women. You understand me? Outside of this show, you're gonna do something else. But if you want to be associated with the Toni Bryce, no ma'am. Carry yourself with a little bit. Even when you did the whole honoring thing, you are a trans woman. Why did you not invite Nova to that shit? And she could have sat at that table and soaked up all that knowledge from y'all legends. Went to her first ball and saw you get disrespected and disenfranchised in real time, and that could have been a lesson. Don't let nobody do you like this. And when they do exactly what the fuck I did and leave, because you don't deserve to be like, for her to be the only trans woman and for you to be the mother, the this, the that. Where was the mothering? You handled your business and Kiki the rest of the time. How are you any different from anybody else on the cast? Neek was that anchor. And I ain't gonna lie, I see what Neek is talking about when he say that Q wanted to be the anchor. Because there was a lot of times where Q was like, well, bitch, if y'all ain't gonna handle it, I will. This is what we're doing. Leos are natural leaders. You did have a takeover spirit. You tried to do it at the pole dancing class when you was facilitating everything. You interjected down to the Miami. The lemon squeeze, you kind of took over and said what you needed to say. Once you got comfortable, it was just like, I'm going to give y'all a moment, but I'm going to say what the fuck I got to say. But that's what it gave me, honey. So I wanted to come to y'all and let y'all know how I felt about that. I recently started watching Housewives of Atlanta. So if y'all want me to talk about that, let me know in the comments that that's what y'all want me to talk about, because I'm in a bit. Why does bitch still? That's not your business, Kat. I don't want to waste my time or yours giving you something that you don't want to talk about here on this channel. So if y'all do want me to talk about Housewives, because I'm gonna watch it regardless, but if y'all want me to talk about it with y'all, then let me know in the comments and we'll get into that. And because this is finally over, and I say finally because, baby, I'm exhausted. I really am. I enjoyed the season. I enjoyed everybody, but I'm exhausted. If there are any shows that you do want me to watch and come and talk to y'all about, just so y'all can get my perspective, let me know in the comments. and we'll get that thing going. Because what I had planned, I don't really have planned anymore. As far as the YouTube channel, I still do have an album coming out this summer. But yeah. And then everybody talked about what they was talking about what they had going on. Like, everybody's doing big things, and I'm happy for all of y'all. I cannot wait to see all of y'all flourish. Nova, you're gonna have to give me something other than the children's. But I can't. I'm not finna buy it. Now, I may buy it for my nieces, but I need something I can get into. You know, in case I want to support. You know. But that was all this season gave. And yeah, thank you all for liking and subscribing and for commenting and for viewing. Like, I'm still overwhelmed by the love and the support. Like, you guys are amazing, and I love y'all, and I hope y'all stick around. Until next time, same place, same time.